Oh, what? Oh. Hello, musical friends and family. I want to talk about something while I pay for my phone bill. And the video that I wanted to talk about, because I said I would do it and post it sometime today, is privacy is protection. And how I want to talk about that I changed my phone number after 13 years of owning it. It's a very long time. Now, I'm never someone who changes my phone number. Never. I never see the point or reason to. But there were some events that happened recently where I felt that it was like Facebook and Instagram all over again and left me uncomfortable. But now I think about it, it was about time. Unfortunately. How much is my phone bill now? It's due today anyway. Yeah, okay. So yes, I had that phone number for 13 years. Past people had it. My old jobs had it. People who I no longer talk to have it. And I even still remember my phone number when I put it in like memberships and my medical when I pick up prescriptions. But I had to change it. I think if I would have chose a different path or chose a different, a life that's a little normal, I would have kept it for a very long time. For I always tell people, there's, my number, it never changed, and if you need anyone to talk or if you need, I'm here, a lending ear. But because I chose what I do, and because I pursue what I do, it came with consequences and therefore led to change. But this is what this video is going to be talking about, is privacy is protection. Because now life is not so private anymore. But then I'm not someone to be like, because of what happened, I'm not gonna, I should stop, or I should just leave the channel be, and, that's not what I'm gonna do. So, what's nice is that when I was changing my phone number, the gentleman who helped me, who was Metro PCS. I've been with Metro for a very long time. $50 is what I can afford for a phone bill. He was kind enough to help me. He said there was a fee of changing the phone number, and I explained to him my situation. I explained to him other events, and then he said he understood. So he was actually kind enough not to charge me the fee, and that the phone number change was on the house. So that was nice of him. And at the time, I couldn't afford it anyway, when I changed it. But reason being what led the change is because, well, that phone number, I'm not too sure who had it, but a lot of people had it, and people had it that I didn't even expect would have it. Like, for example, it was around time in July I got contacted by a classmate from college. Now, mind you, I was at Contra Costa College between 2010 to 2011 or 2012, something like that. But I was there for a while, and I remember this particular person who contacted me out of the blue. He was from a math class, and mind you, we were never friends. We never hanged out. He never got to know me. I never got to know him. Completely classmates. We exchanged math homeworks and studied in the library, studied with the math teacher or like a math assistant, whatever, but nothing like that. And so when I stopped going to college, don't talk to anyone for years, haven't seen anyone in years, nothing like that, no relation. until contacted out of the blue. And when I was talking to this person, I answer phones because I thought it was my jobs, I thought it was work, and all of a sudden it was him saying, "Hey, remember me?" By the way, I ain't gonna say names on here, okay? Not even that. But this is a scenario that does happen. So he was saying, "Oh, so what's been going on?" And blah, blah, blah. "We should hang out like we used to." And I'm like, we never hanged out. That's kind of what threw me off, wondering like, you know nothing about me, and I just know what we just about math class, and that was about it. Huge difference. And so then conversation led to, where you work at, or what you've been doing lately. And I'm just like, I'm not comfortable speaking with you about. I didn't say that to him, but I just kind of made it and brush it off. And when we got off the phone, he was like, "Oh, I'll talk to you again, and maybe we can hang out or do the blah." And I was like, yeah, sure, and then I just felt like, why would you have my number for that long? I guess he was saying I changed, I don't know, something about, it beats the hell out of me why he kept it, I don't know, but another who. There was a second person that contacted sometime in August. Now this one was the icing on the cake, at least a little for me, that made me alarmed. Now this person was actually from history class from college years ago, again between 2010, 11, 12. And we exchanged homeworks. There's a reason why I didn't be friends with this individual, was because I felt very uncomfortable. He was the kind of person that was like, pressing, like, he even pressed about homework, like, "Oh, can you help me get this homework done?" Or blah, blah, blah. Or, because, like, I was more of a reader, he wasn't. I actually liked history and he didn't, so I was like, well, I'll help you. And because of college, we never hanged out, never friends, no nothing, just classmates. And so when college was over, never contacted. Then how many years later, he's contacts the phone, and he was like, "Hey, how you been? Blah, blah, no. And I was like, how'd you get this phone number? And I guess he must have, I don't know, kept it. I don't know. It was just really bizarre because I felt like there's no reason for you to keep this phone number, not friends. I think I left an impression or whatever. But with this individual, he was more like, "Oh, so you have a YouTube channel?" I'm like, oh, okay. So you watch channels? Like, yeah. So I just wanted to ask, what is it like? Like, what do you do? Like, you must be getting this by now. You must be having this by now. You must be blah, blah, blah by now, That's really cool. Maybe you can blah, 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 and maybe we could talk about it more. And I just felt like, is that, I felt very uncomfortable. What I felt comfortable was that, how come you want to know about the channel and why you want to talk about it, and I'm not friends with you, I don't hang out with you, I don't associate with you, and anything like that. So that made me uncomfortable. And so I was trying to be light, because I was telling myself, "Allie, don't get mad, don't get upset." But then he pressed on and saying, "Oh, well, where do you work at now? So you work at different jobs? Where at, And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you where I work. And then he goes, "Oh, well, do you live in the same area? Do you live in the same..." And then that's when I stepped up and I said, "You know what, I'm not comfortable sharing with you, especially that it was just class that I exchanged phone numbers and I never wanted to hang out, or we never had friends, and I don't feel comfortable talking to you about the channel, what's going on." And especially when the questions that he would ask was very pressing questions, very prying questions that basically did not respect my privacy, that just wanted to pick out of the blue, as if like I would be like, "Oh, you're nice enough, you'll talk about it in open." No, unless you have a channel of your own, unless you have something with YouTube you want to ask questions, and sure. But when it came to the whole pressing, and especially the whole assumption, like, "Oh, you must have this by now, you must have blah, blah, blah," in terms of, the M word, which is monetization, which I tell people, like, "Hey man, I'm not there yet." And even when I tell them that I'm not there yet, they have the nerve to say, "Well, what do you do it for?" And you're wasting your time, and it's nothing. And it's like, that makes me a little As if that's supposed to change my mind of what I'm doing is nothing. And so because of that, I told him, look, I'm not comfortable with talking to you about what's going on, and because there's just reach out of the blue. And he's like, oh, come on, we'll hang out, blah, blah, blah. We hang out and get to know, no. And so I just said, please stop calling this number. And then I hang up, and I don't like blocking people. That's not what I do. But for the first time, I had to do that, unfortunately. And blocking only just made it a little bit more complicated, because I would get paranoid when I get off my job, or one of them I would make sure I look out the window like at night. And after weeks and weeks of actually not considering it, thinking about it, maybe it'll go away, I just got paranoid, and I just said, you know what, I think I'm just gonna change it. So I changed it. I learned my lesson that I have to kind of be very secluded now. I have to be very careful. The only people I give my phone number to is my gal pals, four of them. My co-workers at work if they need to switch shifts, if they need to shift covering. My parents, my siblings, some family members, and that's it. The last thing I want is to anyone texting me or calling me, especially if it's someone that's out of the blue and something that's not in my inner circle, especially asking questions about the channel, which a lot of people do ask that. They asked about, especially if you get paid yet, especially if you make this a job, especially if you blah blah, and it's like, hey man, this is what I do, and this is what I love to do. And then when people tell me, oh, how come, why are you doing it if it's free? It's nothing. And I'm just like, when are you gonna get your, whatever, your payment or your reward? And I'm just like, what is it to you that I get paid or not? As I recall, this is what I do. This is just what makes me live. This is what makes me breathe. And one day I want to write a book about this, and that's, who knows what will happen. It can either be in a good ending or a bad ending, but what I'm saying is this is just what I do. I'm not going to stop just because I'm in fear that a next person, whoever contacts the number, is going to be like, oh, by the way, how's it going, blah, 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 talks about the channel. Or what I don't want to do is stop just because, it's not doing anything, but it really made a big, huge impact in my life. And the reason why I do it every day is just because I can. I even have the calendar already up for the rest of this year, and I'm already having plans. And even whatever that comes my way, or whatever setbacks, that's what I got a second channel that's for. But what I'm just saying is that I am done explaining myself. I am done talking to people who really don't give a shit of what really goes on with me. And I don't want to I just want to be secluded now, and I only just want to be in contact and talk to people who care, not people who don't. Not people who just see me as like, an opportunity, or just somebody who's just like, oh, well, you'll be really good as a partner or business partner or whatever, and it's only superficial shit and has nothing to do with me, and I'm done. And I just want to be private as possible, and that's why I want to talk about it, that privacy is the most important thing, especially when you have a platform, especially when you have a channel, especially when you have anything that's above the 1K. Like, to be honest, I tell people ever since being in over 1K, silence is gold, and I don't even say what I do. I don't even say what I have. I don't say it because majority of the time, I don't enjoy talking about it, because all people think about is only the superficial, surface level part about it. And makes me just want to hide from those people. Bottom line is, you know where to find me. I'm on this platform. I'm always posting. I'll never post what jobs I work at. They're always in code. I'll never post about people's faces, or I'll just post the floor. I'll never post locations, things like that, because like I said, privacy is protection, and that's what I'm doing right now. I noticed that when I changed my phone number to a new one, the numbers keep growing up and down, up and down, up and down, and to be honest, it doesn't make me sad one bit. It just makes me feel like, I'm just glad I know who, But like I said, I don't know who watches the channel either. I don't know who listens to it, and that's a little bit scary too. It's not like where it was Instagram or Facebook, you can see who's following you, whatever, but when YouTube, when people subscribe, you just see the number go up and that's it. But you don't know who's who, and so that's a little concerning as well. Now I'm just babbling, but the whole number one thing about this is just protect yourself as much as you can. Just try to remind myself that it's not that everyone is a bad person. Even the 2 people that contacted me out of the blue that were my classmates were not my friends. They're not bad people. They're just not my people. And as of this time right now, I just want to be around people who are my people. And what I mean about being around my people is people who care. Because the last thing I want to be around or talk or be associated with is people who don't. And I never meant any ill will. I never meant harm. I never meant any. I just want to be private now. And that's all I gotta say. My phone bill is paid, so. But other than that, stay safe and in good health always. My camera's about to die.